Hi again, gorgeous ones. You're with Shelter in the Storm for the Course in Miracles lesson 90. 90. Okay, we're on chapter 6, the lessons of love, part 2, the alternative to projection. Let's go. Any split in mind must involve a rejection of part of it. And this is the belief in separation. The wholeness of God, which is His peace, cannot be appreciated except by a whole mind that recognizes the wholeness of God's creation. By this recognition, it knows its Creator. Exclusion and separation are synonymous, as are separation and dissociation. We have said before that the separation was and is dissociation, and that once it occurs, projection becomes its main defense, or the device that keeps it going. The reason, however, may not be so obvious as you think. What you project, you disown, and therefore do not believe is yours. You are excluding yourself by the very judgment that you are different from the one on whom you project. Since you have also judged against what you project, you continue to attack it because you continue to keep it separated. By doing this unconsciously, you try to keep the fact that you attacked yourself out of awareness, and thus imagine that you have made yourself safe. Yet projection will always hurt you. It reinforces your belief in your own split mind, and its only purpose is to keep the separation going. It is solely a device of the ego to make you feel different from your brothers and separated from them. The ego justifies this on grounds that it makes you seem better than they are, thus obscuring your equality with them still further. Projection and attack are inevitably related, because projection is always a means of justifying attack. Anger without projection is impossible. The ego uses projection only to destroy your perception of both yourself and your brothers. And the process begins by excluding something that exists in you, but which you do not want, and leads directly to excluding you from your brothers. We have learned, however, that there is an alternative to projection. Every ability of the ego has a better use, because its abilities are directed by the mind, which has a better voice, capital V. The Holy Spirit extends, and the ego projects. As their goals are opposed, so is the result. The Holy Spirit begins by perceiving you as perfect. Knowing this perfection is shared, He recognizes it in others, thus strengthening it in both. Instead of anger, this arouses love for both, because it establishes inclusion. Perceiving equality, the Holy Spirit perceives equal needs. This invites atonement automatically, because atonement is the one need in this world that is universal. To perceive yourself this way is the only way in which you can find happiness in the world. That is because it is the acknowledgement that you are not in this world, for the world is unhappy. let's continue there tomorrow. Part 2. Let's move to our lesson 90. 90. For still doing our review lessons, so today we'll be reviewing these ideas. Lesson 79. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Let me realize today that the problem is always some form of grievance that I would cherish. Let me also understand that the solution is always a miracle with which I let the grievance be replaced. Today, I would remember the simplicity of salvation by reinforcing the lesson that there is one problem and one solution. The problem is a grievance. The solution is a miracle. And I invite the solution to come to me. And I invite the solution to come to me through my forgiveness of the grievance and my welcome of the miracle that takes its place. Specific applications of this idea might be in these forms. This presents a problem to me, which I would have resolved. The miracle behind this grievance will resolve it for me. That one. The answer to this problem is the miracle that it conceals. Awesome. Number 80. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. I seem to have problems only because I am misusing time. I believe that the problem comes first and time must elapse before it can be worked out. I do not see the problem and the answer as simultaneous in their occurrence. That is because I do not yet realize that God has placed the answer together with the problem, so that they cannot be separated by time. The Holy Spirit will teach me this, if I will let Him. And I will understand it is impossible that I could have a problem which has not been solved already. I need not wait for this to be resolved. The answer to this problem is already given me, if I will accept it. Time cannot separate this problem from its solution. Those are our review lessons for lesson 90. Number 79. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. And number 80. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. Okay, and Jesus commentary for lesson 90 is: You are blessed beings. Indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. And very few of you see problems in this way. Of course, problems are never ending in your world. Problems continue. As soon as you solve one problem, another problem appears. As soon as you resolve a grievance, another grievance pops up. This is because of the way your mind works. There is this idea being reviewed here, that you are separate from the solution. You are not separate, because everything takes place in your mind. Your world reflects your consciousness, mind, actions, and beliefs about reality. So any problem manifested in front of you must come from within your own consciousness, because that is what life is. Your life, experiences, relationships, and values, everything come from within your consciousness. You are the creator. You are the projector. All faults on the movie screen of your life come from the projector. That means the solution is found behind the fault in the projecting mind. The projector creates and miscreates life, the life that you live, and the problems demonstrate a distortion within that projector. A little bit of dirt on the lens of the projector of your life, if you will. Now, you know running up to the movie screen and trying to change things on it is absolutely pointless. You know that trying to change your hairstyle in the mirror is absolutely pointless. You must go to the origin of the issue. We want you to clearly understand that your problems manifested in front of you are within your mind and, therefore, are yours to correct. You must choose the miracle, which is to choose love, instead of the fractious, refusing, judgmental, or resisting idea you see manifested as the problem in front of you. When you see a problem in front of you, for example, somebody behaving in a way you think is unacceptable, then hold up a mirror and turn it toward yourself. Look inside and ask yourself these questions. Am I qualified to judge somebody else's motivations and behaviors? Do I even know my motivations and behaviors? Actually, no. Perhaps I should focus on myself a little bit more, rather than feeling that I am self-righteously justified in criticizing others. This one little example shows how you can immediately remove a grievance, a problem, from your mind and life by changing your point of view, reframing the way you refer to the world. The world is here, playing itself out in front of you and washing over you every single day. And it is manufactured from within your consciousness and the collective consciousness of your society. Your job, however, is not to correct society other than in correcting your contribution to society. Are you contributing loving thoughts and ideas? Or are you contributing grievances? I am that one you know as Jesus, and we will speak to you tomorrow. Namaste, my loves.